So I have never learned acting from anybody in the sense that I've never actually formally learned the art of acting or gone to a school. It's just I just learned at somebody else's experience, and people tolerated me enough while I was learning. Sometimes I look back at the work that I've done, including films like Alai Paide and Manila, and wonder how I survived. And this is not being modest because you have to be. It has to be. It's a Mani Ratnam film, and all of Mani Ratnam actors are par excellent actors. So for me to be bestowed with that honor itself was overwhelming. But I look back at it and I think I could have done so much better. So when I get into character, be it a soldier or a army man or a scientist or anything that the kind of subjects that I choose, fortunately or unfortunately, require me to be real in my performance. So I cannot be heroic. I cannot be overtly, showing off my heroism on screen. And the heroism comes with the deed and the performance and getting into character. So I have to say that I've been blessed with multiple life experiences in detail to be able to carry out these roles. For example, my NCC training with the Army, Navy, and the Air Force, and training abroad as well, has helped me understand how, to a certain extent, how the defense people work, how they think, what they feel, how their world is very different from a civilian world. So to know how a army man salutes, to know the difference between an army salute, a navy salute, and an air force salute, all these small details that people might not actually know or notice, but they perceive it. So if you're playing Rang De Basanti, you're playing an Air Force officer, you got to know how they stand, how they speak, how they salute, how they would behave after joining the army, how their relationship with people who used to consider them as friends has changed because their approach to life has changed. And I have many friends like that. So those life experiences help me inculcate those habits in the characters that I play. So, be it a software engineer, or be it a carpenter, or if it has to be a writer, then these are all real life observations that I do. But I don't try to act like them. So, if you ask me to act like an MGR or act like Shah Rukh Khan or act like Amitabh Bachchan, I am so bad at it. You lose all respect for me in my term to emulate somebody else. But what I do is that I take the character, I understand exactly the situation that he is in. I use all my life experiences to cover the fact that it's Maddy doing it, but I make sure that it is Madhavan who's there in that scene. And let me explain what I mean by that. So, if somebody is in a scene being yelled at by his wife, for instance, then I don't try to behave any differently than I would actually, Madhavan will actually behave if he's being yelled at by his wife. But I will use the kavach or the exoskeleton of the life experiences that I have in portraying that character to manipulate my body movements in such a manner that it looks like an army man is being yelled at, or a writer is being yelled at, or a computer scientist is being yelled at. But the expressions on the face are purely what you'll see me in real life too. An example for that is Rang De Basanti, for instance. I was playing an Air Force officer. I had only 9 minutes to show that I'm a great patriot, a good son, a good boyfriend, a good friend that the friends are able to give their lives up for. And these things, you need an entire film to prove one of these things. So when the director asked me to do it, I said, you're asking me to be all this when giving me one scene. I'm totally there about 9 or 10 minutes in the film. And he said, that's why we are giving it to you. And then I figured out that the best way to do it is that when the character dies, you should feel that Maddy actually left them and went away. So the director decided not to direct me at all in the scene. He said, just be yourself, Maddy. And that's how, though that character became real. And even though it's only there for 8, 9 minutes, it's very impactful. And I learned those lessons like that. So for me to get into character is important. And I was playing an animal of a guy who was supposed to be, a wife beater and stuff like that. And my wife used to say, when you're coming home after the shoot, please leave that character outside the house and come because you're walking around the house like a beast. And she was very uncomfortable with it. So that's how I get into and out of character and try to make them real. Making it real is very important for the kind of stories that I select.